Right, people. I have been asking you guys to draw a, an oligopoly diagram, but most of you are getting it wrong. Today it was frustrating, so I decided to create a YouTube video the the oligopoly diagram, how to make it. So this is the y-axis where we take revenue, cost, and price, and this is the demand curve, the king demand curve, we can say, which shows the elastic segment of the demand curve, and we have the inelastic portion of the demand curve here, which means that on the elastic segment, if the firm increases the price, the opponents will ignore the price hike, making the firm which increases the price to lose the market share. While on the uh, inelastic segment, for instance, a decrease in price will followed by a matching decrease in the price by the rivals, leading to price war. You guys know this. So that's why there is a king on the demand curve, isn't it? Now the we have the marginal revenue curve. We have the marginal revenue curve like this, and there is indeterminateness of the demand curve till this particular point, which means that if the marginal revenue and MC, when we draw, this will become more relevant. So then we have the uh, that segment of the marginal revenue curve, which is going to the negative portion of the uh, marginal revenue curve. So the marginal cost is here. Marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue happen at that point where we mark it as E1. This particular, let me take this. Yeah, this is the equality between MC and MR. And from there, we have the output Q being produced at the profit maximizing level of output for the firm. And when we extend it, we have the price determination on the king here. Okay. And yeah, we have the price determined at this king for the firm at P. Okay, so MC is equal to MR. Equality here is the equilibrium point, E1, where the firm is having the MC is equal to MR, where that identity determines the equilibrium price, determined at P, determined at the king P, and determining the price P. Now, when we look into the average cost curve, this is the average cost curve, for instance. I'm placing it in the middle. Yeah, average cost curve. So we have the firm making a total cost for producing OQ quantity at this level. So which means that the firm is making abnormal profit equal to this green rectangle. Yeah, why green rectangle? Because in order to make OQ quantity, the firm's average per unit cost is C. Okay, OC is the per unit cost, but it makes total quantity OQ. So OQ times OC equal to, for instance, OQ times OC is equal to total cost equaling OQBC as the total cost, but the total revenue, which is derived by multiplying OP price with OQ quantity. So the firm is having a total revenue equal to OQAP. So from OQAP, you subtract the total cost the firm incurs to produce OQ quantity, which is equal to OQBC. So when you subtract that, you get CBAP. That is the abnormal profit, the revenue the firm is left over with after meeting all the costs. Okay, now, if the firm is wanting to produce at the, if the firm is wanting to produce at the productive efficiency, which is defined as the production happening at the minimum point of AC. Yeah, let me drag this. Oh. Minimum point of AC. So we have productive efficiency at this point where the firm is producing at the minimum point of AC, right? So the productive efficiency makes sure that the firm produces at the minimum point of AC, which enables the firm to produce QPE amount of output. Okay, minimum point of AC. What price will be there at that increased level of output? You have to look into the average revenue curve, which is the demand curve. Average revenue curve is the demand curve here. Okay, let me change the color of the cost curve so that it will be easier for you guys to grasp. Yeah. So curve is something like in red, for instance, that is a cost curve. And when the that is equal to equilibrium point E2. Okay, I can write it here. Equilibrium point E2. So that is the productive efficiency level. But when the firm wants to produce at allocative efficiency level of output, it should produce at equilibrium point E3, where what happens? At equilibrium point E3, the firm is able to produce at that point where MC is equal to demand curve or MC is equal to price. The firm is pricing the product equal to marginal cost curve. So this is going to be the allocatively efficient level of output. We call it QA. A means allocative efficiency, QA level of output. Okay. But if the firm is producing at allocative efficiency at a point E3, which indirectly means that the firm allows the producer allows the consumers to maximize their consumer surplus, because here we have demand curve equals supply curve, marginal cost is supply curve, at a demand curve equals supply curve. When the firm is pricing that product at that level, the consumer surplus will be maximized, producer surplus will be maximized, which indirectly means that firm is able to maximize the social surplus in the economy. Okay, so that's why allocative efficiency is the most desirable form of efficiency, but it has its own problems. In the perfect competition, firm doesn't have enough money left over to do the research and development. But the problem of oligopoly is that firms are having pricing power, which they will use to exploit. Today itself, there was a case against Google, Meta, and Microsoft, where European Union imposed fines against them for abusing their dominant position in the market. Okay, so this is the allocative efficiency, which never happens anyway. So now, if the firm, on the other hand, wanting to produce at revenue maximization, then it should produce at that point where the marginal revenue is equal to 0. All right, that is where allocative efficiency happens. You guys need to practice this diagram. Otherwise, this diagram is going to rattle you. Okay, it is crazy, I know, but this video should help you. We call it equilibrium E4. So So what we are concluding here is, even this is, of course, marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. There is the marginal revenue, M is equal to MR happening at point E2, where the firm is maximizing profit. So a firm having monopoly power, a firm having pricing power will always keep the output low to charge a very high price from the consumer by extracting maximum consumer surplus to maximize their abnormal profit, supernormal profit. That is the very title: profit maximization, productive efficiency, allocative efficiency, and revenue maximization by an oligopoly firm. All right. So yeah, with this diagram, you will be able to master it, practice it. In case if you need any help, let me know. Okay. So the real life examples are plenty. Y-axis, of course, is the real output. In case if you have any doubts, let me know. So this is the oligopoly diagram with a kinked demand curve. Why the demand curve is kinked? Because it cannot increase the price. If it increases the price, others will ignore the price hike, leading to the loss of market share for this firm. Okay, but if it reduces the price on the inelastic segment, what happens is other firms will reduce the price too. For example, if Bank of America, rather, if the American Airlines reduces the price, Delta will reduce the price too. If American Airlines increase the price, or that is on the blue segment, that is the elastic segment of the demand curve, the Delta will ignore the price hike. So there is no freedom for the firm. That's why the firm will fix the price at this king named A. There the pricing will happen. And even if the marginal cost increases from MC to MC up or down on this dotted vertical segment of the MR curve, the firm will not increase the price or decrease the price because it is already in Nash equilibrium. That is the point. Okay. All the best. Let me know in case if you have any doubt.